In this tutorial I want to show you how to create this nice looking sunflower. Let's take a look closer. And I usually start from gathering some references. Here you can see some real photos of sunflower and also some in-game references from Genshin Impact. So here I mostly search references related to the full height of the plant to understand how leaves are placed. Also I have some references of the leaves to understand the shape and the colors. And also references of the flower to understand the size and proportion of the leaves in this middle part. And also some in-game references to see how they made it, because I think it's a really nice example of sunflowers in games. And now we can start from creating base color texture in Photoshop. Let's open Photoshop, create new, 1K texture, 1024 to 1024, create new layer. And we go here and select Eclipse tool, create an oval shape, go to fill, select gradient, and now change colors, this one to orange, and change the second color to yellow, like this. Now we can go here and select convert point tool, click one time here, press shift and drag it like this. Also press here, press shift and do like this. And now I want to change the proportions. I go here and select direct selection tools. To do this I click on this dot and move it higher to have this shape of the leaf. And also let's change this part to make it a bit smaller, like this. Okay, I'm happy with the shape. And now I will use it as a single leaf for sunflower, but I also want to create a small group of flowers. So first of all, I want to create just regular circle. I will copy this leaf, copy it again, rotate a bit, change the size, and copy it again. Place like this and copy again. It's okay when we didn't rasterize the shape, so when I rotate it you can see that gradient is also changed. That's okay. I want to have the result like this. Let's place it closer and one more time. Maybe we can also change rotation of this one a bit. And also here maybe a bit like this. And I think we can add one more leaf and that's it. You can play with it as you want. Let's copy the original one. Something like this. Now we can delete this circle and we can play a bit with these leaves. to change the rotation a bit. And also let's rotate this one. And we can take this one and place it on top by changing the layer order. Yes. Okay, I'm happy with this result. Now I can select all these shapes and make them smaller. And also I can make this leaf smaller. So that's everything related to our leaves. Now we can start working on the middle size. So let's go here, select the Eclipse tool and create the round circle. I press Shift to have nice looking shape, because without Shift you will have strange shapes. As usual, go to Fill, select Gradient, and we can choose the gradient that we already made, but we need to change the type of the gradient from linear to radial. And what else? We can add more colors here. Just click underneath this gradient line and let's select maybe some chocolate size color, and let's change this last color to orange as well. Maybe not so dark, like this. Let's click on it again and change this. Oops, got one more color. To remove it, just drag it down. So click on this square, and then we can regulate this transition. And I think we don't need this color. Yes, I think this result is nice. We can leave it as it is. Let's change the size to a bit bigger. And now we can create the this back part of the flower. That will be from the back. So for this purpose, I will also select the leaf we already created. I will copy it and move it here on top of the layers and move it here. And I want to change the shape of it. I will go here, select Direct Selection tool, click on this on the bottom dot and make it smaller. And also I will change this top part as well. And also I want to move these dots as well. And now we need to change this gradient to green one. Let's select Eclipse tool, go to Fill, and let's create a new gradient. So for the dark color, let's choose this, and for the light color, okay, maybe let's change dark color to a bit darker, like this. Okay, I like this gradient, let's leave it. And now we can let's duplicate this shape, turn this visibility of this level off, and let's rasterize this layer, duplicate it. I also press Shift to rotate it related to the angles. Now I can select both of them, copy, and rotate them like this. Select again and rotate like this. And also let's change the size a bit. Then return to the previous one, copy them, and rotate them. Like this. Maybe change the size to a bit bigger one. Let's select two of these and change rotation. Copy them and rotate them one more time. Like this. And we can select the smaller one, copy it, and change it in place like this. Okay, I'm happy with this visual for the bottom part. Maybe I can change it a bit. You can play with this visual as you want. Now I want to select all of it and make it bigger. So that will be our back part. So let's create new layer and select just a regular triangle and go to fill, select gradient tool, and also with shift let's create gradient and press Ctrl D to remove selection, and that will be the part that we will use for the trunk. And the last step is left is the leaf shape. So I will move this leaf here. Oops, wait a minute, I need to select it, make a copy, rasterize this layer, and now we can move it and rotate it because I want to have this gradient as it is. So, and now let's create the leaf shape and go to Eclipse tool and create as it was before. So select it again, go to fill, gradient, and choose the gradient we previously created, and let's leave it as it is, the lighter part on the bottom. And now, as you remember, the sunflower leaf have this shape, a bit like a heart. So I will also go here, convert point tool, select it here, and at the bottom as well, press shift, and then I will change the angle. Oops. And also let's change these dots. Okay, I'm happy with this shape, and now we need to create this part. Let's go here, select rectangle tool, and create a small square. Go to fill, gradient, select the gradient we previously created, and let's click this button to reverse it. And as usual, let's go here, select directional select tool, and now we can play with the shapes. Like this. Now let's select these shapes and merge these shapes. Now we can duplicate this shape, turn off previous one, and rasterize this layer, because we want to make it a bit bigger Maybe we can leave it as it is. We need to place it here in the way we like. Okay, maybe it's okay. Now we can make this lips a bit bigger. Okay, and let's do one more thing. Let's go to the bottom layer, create one more. Go to polygon lasso tool and select everything related to green. Go to gradient tool and do something like this. And let's press Ctrl-Shift-I to invert selection and select the orange gradient we had before. Okay, let's change it. Select orange, select yellow, and do the same. Okay, let's turn off these two layers and select everything we created before, and let's put it to the one group. Okay, and that was the base color, and now to make the texture more interesting we need to change it a bit. As you can see, I have some texture on the leaves and in the middle. Before we start, let's save our texture. Go to File, Save As. I created a folder Sunflower for it, and I already saved it as Sunflower base color 03. I will save it again. And let's start from working on the leaves shape. So let's create a new layer and press Alt to make it related to the bottom layer. And then let's press Alt button and choose the lighter color and make it a bit lighter, like this. And also I will make the my brush thinner. And let's create the center lines and also some bottom parts. And I think we can make this middle part a bit bigger. Something like this. Okay, let's create one more layer. Place it underneath the level that we previously created. And now we can choose the darker color, make it a bit darker. And let's paint it Yeah, let's paint the way to touch only the part of leaf that is related to the lines. Like this, and let's create one more layer underneath two of them. And now let's select light color and a bit lighter, and then we can do something like this. And now we can go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and blur these parts to have something like this. And let's try to do this with the previous layer as well, and blur this part, but not so hard. Something like this. Let's leave it as it is. And let's make this lines part less transparent and make opacity 65 will be okay. Now let's go to the leaves. Oh no, let's go to the middle part, create new level, press Alt to make this level related to the bottom level. And now let's select light yellow color, make this brush smaller. Maybe I can change another one for this one, and we can add the dots like this. Make them bigger, smaller, middle-sized, different size to look more natural. Okay, I'm happy with this result, and I will create one more layer underneath, and we'll choose this dark brown color and make it a bit darker like this. And now I'm going to create something like this. Also, I varied different size of the stroke. And now we can paint some elements in dark color. And that's okay. So I will leave it as it is without any blur. And now I will go to these leaves. Let's now change the color of the leaves. So let's select all of them except this one and rasterize these layers, and after that merge this layer to one layer, create new one, press Alt to make it related to the previous one. Now let's select choose the brush and select the lighter color and make it a bit lighter like this. And let's add the strokes like this. Oh, yes, and also let's do it for this single leaf as well. Like this. And let's go to the previous level, this one. Go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and blur it the way you see here. Press OK and do it the same with previous one to have the result like this. What else we need to do? I think that's okay. We can stop editing all this stuff. Let's collapse this group and let's make a mask for all these elements. Let's create new layer, apply it to the previous one, go to paint bucket tool, press here to find the black color and fill it the way you can see here. Now we need to create curves and make this dot down, this up to revert this mask. Now we need to select all levels, all layers we have. Merge these layers, go to selection tool, select everything, press Ctrl C, then go to the history and undo this, go to channels and create new alpha channel and press Ctrl V to paste it here. And now we can turn this off and turn on the levels we previously created. This texture is not look perfect, but you can spend more time to make it more accurate and more interesting. Okay, let's save it. Let's go to File, save it. Previously, let's save our file, and then we're going to save the texture. Let's save it as Targa. I will leave it sunflower base color 03. Save it, and here I need to choose 32 because we also want to use alpha channel. And before we go into Maya, I remember that my experiments with sunflower, better to change the shape of this leaf because it's too straight. We can make it a bit wavy and it will look much better. To do this, go to channels, select alpha, go to brushes and select brush with hardness 100 and let's paint on it. Just change this straight edges to something more interesting. Let's leave it as it is. Go to File, Save As, and save it as Target Texture one more time. So now we can go to Maya, create a new scene. Usually I place Unreal Engine mannequin to the scene to understand the sizes of elements I'm working on. And let's create the plane. create Lambert texture, rename it to sunflower, and change the color to the file. And let's select the texture we already saved, tutorial sunflower base color 03, and press here to see the texture. As you can see, now shape of the leaf looks better. And let's start from created the base flower. So I'm going to create cylinder, change the subdivision axis to 8, and I'm going to delete all of this stuff. Let's select this edge, press Ctrl E and change offset a bit like this. Now we can select this part and make it a bit higher. And we can make this part a bit smaller. Let's delete these edges in the center and connect this dot in another way, like this, and make it smooth. Now let's apply sunflower material to it. Select and delete the previous UV shell we have, and go to UV, paste plane, select it, press enter, go to UV shell, select it, go to UV toolkit, unfold it, optimize, and now we can change the size to match the desired shape we already created. So let's leave it like it is. Okay, next step is to create something to work with our leaves. To do so, let's select the multi-cut tool. And we're going to do it like this. And let's do something similar here. Now we can select it and press detach. All these tools you can find here: mesh, edit mesh, or mesh tools. And now let's select the object. I press F8 and then ungroup it. We can select this part. And also let's connect these dots. Or maybe let's create one more dot somewhere here. And let's change this dot. And let's connect the dots that left. And now we can add some edge loops to bend these leaves a bit later. So for better result you can add 2 loops. For more economy variant you can leave only 1 loop. For my purpose I will do like this. Let's do the same for this leaf. Let's select it, detach, press F8 and group and select this part. And now we can delete this dot because we don't need it. And from what I see we can move these dots closer like this. And also to change these dots. And here we also can add 2 loops to bend this leaf a bit later. So the next step is to cut this part. I also will create a cylinder and I will change the subdivision axis to 5. Okay, let's leave it to 8. Delete this part because we don't need it. And then apply sunflower material to it, go to UV shell and move it to the place where we have this bottom part. Now we can also change the dots a bit, and here is our bottom part. Okay, what else? Now we need to cut the leaf. Let's select multi-cut tool and do something like this. Let's select it, press Ctrl+Shift to invert selection and delete everything we don't need it. And also let's connect the dots. And we also can create select multi-cut tool. And we can create this middle line. So now we have all elements. Let's make center pivot to all these elements. And now we need to bend them. Okay, and for this part, let's select the middle dot and change the shape of it to something like this. Press F8 to go to the object mode, and we already did center pivot. And let's go to the modeling toolkit and let's place it to the 0 coordinates. Do the same with this part. But for this part we need to rotate it. Let's select it and I press G for better rotation. And now we need to make it a bit bigger than we have the middle part. Don't think about the sizes on the stages because we can change the size a bit later and make it a bit closer. Something like this. Okay. Now we can bend our leaves. To do so, we go to the form, nonlinear bend, and let's change the curvature to 60. And now we need to rotate this white curve on the way we need. Like this. And now we need to check if it's look like nice. We can change other parameter if we want. Maybe we can change it to 100. No, it's too much. 60 was better. Maybe 70. Yes, that's okay. Now let's select the mesh, delete history, and also make it smooth. You know, I don't like this part, so I will undo everything and leave the curvature parameter to 60. It has better visual on 60. Yeah, this is much better. Okay, and let's do it the same with this one solo leaf. Go to the form, nonlinear bend, select the curvature to the same 60 and rotate it. Okay, 60 is too much for this part, maybe 30. Yeah, 30 is okay. Select the mesh and delete history. And also make it smooth. And now we can bend our leaf. Go to the form, nonlinear, bend, place curvature to 40 and rotate it to the way we like. And that's okay. Let's change history and change the mode to smooth. And now we can select this middle part and put it down a bit. To have something like this. That's okay. And now we can assemble the flower. I will start from this big group, duplicate it, and for better visibility I will change the base material to regular Lambert. And now on this stage we need to understand the proportions between the middle part and the leaves. I think we should make them a bit bigger. So the leaf will take almost a half of the middle part. And now we can duplicate it. it's not a fast process. So also we need to change the angle of the leaves. And duplicate it again. And duplicate it one more time. Let's make this part a bit smaller. Okay, and for this some strange themes, we will use this single leaf. Let's change the pivot with holding D and V, and just place it here. And for these 4 leaves, I will also assign a regular Lambert material, so my placement of these solo leaves will be better visible. As I told before, this process is not so fast. And yeah, the more accurate result you want, the more time you need to spend on this placement. And let's duplicate it and place it one more time here. And I think on this stage I will be happy with the result. Oh, I think okay. Okay, let's return the sunflower material. As I can see, we can duplicate this leaf and place it a bit underneath to mask this gap. Like this. And now we can take this part and make it higher. Let's select all of this and return it to the Lambert material. And now we have better visibility with this part. We can make it bigger. Make it a bit closer. Okay. Let's return it sunflower material. Duplicate it. And let's combine this mesh history, center pivot, and also let's go to mesh display, set vertex normal, set up the y value to 1 and xz to 0, and click apply, set normal. Okay, that's our flower. Can make it a bit smaller, related to the person. Let's duplicate it one more time. And now we can make it a bit smaller, like this. Okay, let's return the grid and start working on the trunk. I will go and create cylinder and leave 5 axes. Let's select only middle part, press Ctrl-Shift-Alt and delete top and bottom part and make it really small, like this. Select the top edges and make it higher. Let's select the height of the sunflower we want, maybe even more, like this. I press Ctrl-E for extruded, like this, and press Ctrl-E again to extrude it again, to have something like this. And let's do more cuts here. And now we can select this mesh and go to deform, nonlinear bend, place curvature for 60. And let's change this parameter to 0. And bend our sunflower a bit, like this. Select the mesh and delete history. Now let's change this part to be a bit wider, and also the bottom edge we can make it a bit bigger, and also this part as well. and this one we can make a bit thinner. And now we can select these dots and change the shape a bit, so it will not be so straight. And now let's select our mesh, go to UV, delete everything we had previously, then go to UV, camera based, select one edge and cut, then go to UV, select our UV, unfold it, optimized, then we orientate the shield and straighten this UV. And we can apply sunflower material and place our mesh here. As you can see, darker from the bottom and lighter from the top. Okay. And now we can select this mesh and also make everything smooth. So the next step is to place our leaves. So I will return material to the regular Lambert. And as I can see, this part does not look so nice. I will select it and move a bit. Yeah, now it looks more natural. So now we can start working with leaves. I will duplicate it and leave it here. So from the bottom leaves should be bigger and they will become smaller to the top. So we can scale this leaf a bit. I press Ctrl I to isolate it and press the pivot D and Y to this point, so it will be easier to manipulate this leaf. Duplicate it, rotate, change the angle, change the height, and duplicate one more, change the scale to smaller. And I think we can add one more leaf here. Let's continue this process with adding more leaves, and don't forget to change the size. Okay, and let's select our sunflower and place it here. Yeah, let's change position of this leaf a bit. In general, it looks nice. Maybe let's add one more leaf here. And maybe one more leaf here. Let's make it smaller. Okay, let's select the trunk. Apply sunflower material to the whole structure. Combine this mesh and go to mesh display, set vertex normal, set vertex normal. Now let's combine a whole sunflower and place pivot here. I press the X and move it here. So let's delete history and freeze transformation. And now go to File, Export Selection, and let's go to my folder Sunflower. And I will save it as Sunflower 8. And click Export Selection. So now we can go to Unreal Engine. And we can go to Tutorials. Sunflower, and select Sunflower 8 and just drag and drop it here. You can see my setup, it's almost default import, and here we have our sunflower. So let's place it here. The next step is to create material. Let's do it in this folder. Right mouse button, click material. Let's name it master material sunflower. Let's open it. Oh, and one more important thing. We need to import our texture. So for me it's sunflower base color 03. So I will import it here. And now we can drag and drop it to our material. And this material will be almost the same as I did for Stylized flower. So first of all, let's convert this texture to parameter. Right mouse button, click convert to parameter and name it base color. Let's create multiplied node M and click on empty space, and a vector 3 node, click 3 and click on empty space, and convert it to parameter and name it base color tint. And change the default value to white color. Place our texture to A, our tint to B, and place it to base color. So press S like snake and click on empty space and you will create parameter node. Name it to roughness. Let's save default value to 1 and connect it to roughness. Now let's create node two-sided sign and create vector 3 node 3 and click on empty space, and you can make blue to 1 to have a blue node. And let's create node multiply M, this to A, this to B, and this is to normal. And now let's create a simple grass wind node. Here, simple grass wind. And we can now click to this parameter and promote it to parameter and select default value to 0.5 The same here, promote to parameter and select to 0.25, and the same with speed, promote to parameter and select default value to 0.5. And let's create a vector1 node, one, and click on empty space and just apply it to additional VPO. And we can plug in it here to world position offset. Also important part, if you want to create custom wind for your flower, you need to create a mask that can, how to say it, the mask that can mask different part of the flower to tell the engine where you want to have wind, where you don't want to have the wind, and you have different ways to do this. For this purpose, I will just create a simple variant for this. I will create multiplied node. Let's create texture coordinate. Mask node, component mask, and just leave mask R. Oh, sorry, mask G. Connected, and create node 1 minus. With this manipulation, we will mask the bottom part of the texture. So it will stay. It will not be affected by wind, but everything that will be on top will be affected by wind. That's why you should think about how you place all these meshes on the texture. But for this example, it will not work really nice. And the last step we need to do, we need to apply the base color texture alpha to the opacity. Yes, and also, as you can see, opacity is not active. That's because we do not set up the material here. So first of all, let's place here to activate two-sided. And also we need to change blend mode to masked. And now we have opacity mask. So let's put alpha channel to opacity mask. And that's all set up we need to make for the material. Let's save it. And now we can create material instance. Let's rename it MI Sunflower. Now we can open our sunflower mesh and apply our material instance. And also let's go here and tell that we don't want any collision, no collision. And now we can go to material instance and change the wind setup to be less active. And as you can see, here is our sunflower. Let's go to play mode to check how it looks like. I don't know why, but this with yellow dots, I think I love even more than my old one with dark dots in the center. But the leaf texture was better in the previous version because this one is too intense. But anyway, now you know how to create nice looking sunflower, and I wish you good luck with your sunflowers.